Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on, guys? It's Filthy, and we're back with another video. Today we're doing some Raid Shadow Legends. We're going to talk you out of doing this fusion for Supreme Elhain. Even though we're rocking the avatar, I just think this is a straight avoid for a lot of players. There are a few reasons to get her. I will talk about those before I poop all over the fusion and tell you why you shouldn't do it. Before we do get going, as always, so guys, thumbs up brightens my day. Subscribe if you are enjoying Raid. I've just had an absolute mare. I've pulled 3 sacred shards. I thought I was recording, and I wasn't. We got ourselves a husk, which is brilliant. We got ourselves a dupe Horden. Sod off Raid, that's terrible. We got a Crimson Helm, who I actually think is pretty decent. Control kit here, which we like. 100% chance to provoke when booked. Block damage on herself. Increased defense interests me for clan boss, as does this juicy big fat 50% decreased attack for clan boss. So we might well build her for clan boss. Husk going to help massively with Hydra. Would also be good for clan boss, good for dragon. Good champ here with this enemy max HP. Now, the reason I pulled my shards is because I've got literally no interest in partaking in this fusion on the free-to-play account. Don't get me wrong, on my main account I will get her, and that is just simply because there's nothing else for me to do. I clear Ultra Nightmare every day, and other than do the fusions, there's not terribly much more to do. Like, we do have the hard dungeons, we can progress with those. There are extra things to do in this game, but basically when you get to the end game, you've got the resources to do every single fusion, so you may as well, because it is fun doing them. So, maybe that segues into the reasons why you would do this fusion, because it's fun collecting champions. Past that, if we look at her kit, she is going to be an AoE Void Nuker. AoE on rate 2, damages increases 10% for each debuff you've put on the target. So you'll be able to do a setup, decrease defense, weaken, poison, something like that, and she'll hit really hard. She resets the cooldown on her A3 if she kills somebody. A bit weird that, really, because you're probably going to lead with the AoE nuke if you're going to use it as an arena nuker. But her crack shot, and this is why I'm quite interested to pick her up on my main, will ignore ally protection, strengthen, and shield. Tag arena, I bounce between like bronze 4 to silver 3 depending on whether I actually play any fights. You get a lot of ally protect, strengthen, and shield. There's a lot of tanky champions, so if she can kind of solo target and snipe somebody, put them down, and give herself an extra turn, then come in with the AoE, then reset this, that could be useful. But you're talking kind of fighting your way up to gold on the tag arena. A1 attacks twice, transfers a random debuff to the target. Passive, she's immune to decreased attack, so you can't debuff her like that. 20% more damage if her attack is higher than the champion she's slapping. That should be the case pretty much most of the time. She's got a 30% all attack aura as well. Where are you going to use her other than arena? That's the real question. I don't think she's going to be strong enough to do Doom Tower. I mean, don't get me wrong, sometimes there are these things in Doom Tower, so she could be a useful, occasional pull out to try and get through a few waves in Doom Tower, but ultimately you'll probably have a better Doom Tower team to just generally do that. I don't think a kit's going to be good enough to be particularly useful on faction wars, not for progression, maybe for doing it faster towards the end, but High Elves is a pretty easy faction anyway, to be perfectly honest. So the only reason you're going to get it is for this AoE nuke ability and her ability to kill somebody and then grant an extra turn. If she doesn't kill somebody with this, then you're not getting the extra turn, so you could go kill and then AoE nuke, or you could just lead with the nuke, either of those two things. Now, Hellhade's done a video this morning saying she hits 20-30% harder than Skullcrown or Gembo. Realistically, I just don't think that's worth going for on an early account, and the reason being is that if you've got Gembo, or if you've got Skullcrown, as an example, well, doing 20% more damage, if you one-shot everybody with either of those two champions, 20% more of a one-shot is still a one-shot. So why would you go for it? Well, I guess if your main nuker is not Void, then you could go for it, because you then remove the ability to have weak hits. But if you look at a couple of the, I'd rather have Trunder, I think, as nuker. easier said than done. My nuker on my main mostly is Foley, because I really like his block revive. Again, not everybody's going to have Foley, but it's just a good example of somebody who you might have, who I think is better, because that, to me, has probably got more utility in general arena, and it's only tag arena that I see her being more useful perhaps than Foley. And even then, Foley's still in tag. Blocking revive sometimes is really handy. If we look at a couple of the void options, Knight's Revenant, I've got a Soulless. He's a better void nuker than her, probably, because you can use him in other areas of the game, because he's got this provoke, he's got like buff strip, he places a massive shield on himself when he hits, he's defense based, he hits like a truck, he's got stun, again, another really solid option. I straight up would probably rather have Skull Crown on my free to play than getting Supreme Elhain, simply because she's got AoE A1, more extra hits on more than 50% HP enemies, AoE on the A2, can place weaken, unkillables herself when she gets slapped for under 20% of her HP. Really annoying. Means you can build her in lifesteal, you can build her in counterattack. I'd rather have her. She's got a speed in arena battle, 23% aura. If you do get Sinesha, there's revive you can do with her. I'd rather have a Skull Crown. And then again, if we look at Gembo, who I'm guessing a good chunk of players have picked up recently, simply because he was the Prime Gaming giveaway. He will buff up himself with crit rate, crit damage. Then he will come in with his nuke. He'll take a buff off as well, which is kind of nice. Steals increased attack, and that can't be resisted, so he doesn't really need accuracy unless you're going for this buff strip here. And he's also immune to decreased attack, like Supreme Elhain, but he also ignores unkillable when he's got increased attack. So if you can get increased attack on him, he'll block unkillable, which is really handy. I think that's a good move. And as we say, stealing on the A1. I'd almost probably rather 60 Gembo than Supreme Elhain. Yes, he's not going to do quite as much damage, but he's epic, so he's going to be much cheaper to build with books. He's going to be able to get all these things booked up much easier, and he's just way more accessible. So is it worth putting all the resources in? If you've got Gembo, I say absolutely not. It's a complete waste of all of your energy, shards, the whole shebang, just to get somebody who's maybe 20% better in terms of the raw hitting department. Even if it's 30%, I still don't think it's worth it. This guy will do you absolutely fine. Nukers in the game are not hard to come by. That's just how it is. You might be unlucky with pulls, you might not be able to get there, but ultimately you're always going to have a starter champ who's going to have an inbuilt 15% crit rate buff. We got Dracomorph in our recent pulls. As soon as he's got his masteries done, we're going to be taking Kale and starting to nuke with him. That's kind of why I personally haven't built out my Gembo yet. Where is Gembo? Where's he gone? There he is. Again, I will get this guy done to 60 because he would be a better nuke option than Kale. But at the moment, for Classic Arena, you only really need one nuker. And yeah, Kale will weak hit Force Affinity champs sometimes, but I can build Gembo. I don't need the Supreme Elhain. I just think it's an absolutely crackers thing. Plus, if we actually look at the way that the thing works, it's rubbish. It's absolutely pants. You've got 20 fragments from Summon Rush, and you've got 15 fragments from Champion Chase. You can skip 10 fragments. You're gonna have to do both of these. That's so crap. Plus, we then chuck in the fact that, well, it was boosted rates, twice the chance of legendary champs with sacreds. So, the game's basically saying save your sacreds till the next summoning event because you need all the fragments. Tomorrow is going to be double rates voids. The game's going to be saying save your void shards because you don't know how many points you're going to need to complete the fusion. And then the day after, well, double ancients, you may as well pull them anyway. I just thought, we need champions for Hydra, we need champions for Clan Boss. I'm going to pull these sacreds on double chances. I'm going to pull the voids on double chances. I'm going to pull the ancients on double chances, because what's the worst that happens? We're pulling them all on double rates, and we'll probably get some better champions. Like, genuinely, I would rather have had, if you said to me I can pick either Supreme Elhain or a Husk, I'd rather have a Husk, because I know I'm going to use him in Hydra once he's built, and I just think he's more useful champion. And that's kind of crackers. I just don't care about damage in arena. I really don't. Once you get to the point where you're one-shotting everybody, pretty much, which is very doable with Gembo, and even up to like gold 4, gold 5, you could probably still just get away with your starter if you built them up with enough gear and enough stuff, and you got decreased defense and weak and stuff like that on. So ultimately, I just think this is going to be a big fat waste of resources, and you're not going to be disappointed because a Void Nuker is always a nice to have. But if you've got Gembo, you're just getting a slightly better Void Nuker. And I just really don't see this. I think it's a very easy skip for me. We're going to go for all the shards on the 4th anniversary event. We're going to hopefully get something. And we don't have to sweat getting like 60 millions worth of silver for these artifact enhancements. We don't have to do all of this stuff. We can do some of it. We can grab some of the rewards. And it may well be that we end up in a position where, ironically, we can do the fusion by the end of it. On the, but I just don't see it. Like, if it happens, it's going to be completely by accident, not by intention. We're going to get another Sacred tomorrow. We're going to pop that. We're going to pop the Voids. We're going to pop the Ancients. We're going to pop the whole lot as we try and improve our roster. Because ultimately, until we get to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, just trying to do fusions is just really hard, and I don't want to sit on my Sacreds for ages just thinking, well, maybe at some point there'll be a fusion worth going for. I think we just need to rush ourselves to Nightmare 3 key and Ultra Nightmare as soon as we can, because ultimately what makes and breaks all these fusions is these yellow shards here, and you just can't get them until you do Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare, really. Brutal, unfortunately, whilst you can only do the clan boss stage you're up to, there are no Sacreds to be got out of Brutal, so you need to rush yourself to Nightmare ASAP, and you need good champs to do it, really. So yeah, we're gonna open everything. We're just gonna go for it, and that's it. We're gonna build the best team that we can, and that's the strategy. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Feel free to skip this fusion. It's absolutely no biggie. Like, she'll be a nice to have champion, but I think you could easily name 50, 60 champions in the game you'd rather have if you could handpick, and on that basis, don't sweat it. If you get it done, you get it done, and if you don't, you don't. I've been Filthy Casual. I hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.